Hey everybody, welcome to Chapter 2, which is the Interface Tour in TrendSpider University. And today we're going to go over the platform, how to use it, different ways to add hotkeys, different ways to add indicators, all of that to really make you a successful user of the platform. Now, starting with the simple ability to search for a stock, you can easily go to the top left here and type in any stock you want to look at. In this case, HD. If we want to look at Home Depot, just type it in, click HD, and you'll see that the chart pops up. If you want to look at a specific cryptocurrency, maybe you want to look at Bitcoin, BTC, USD, and then you type in the exchange that you want to look at. So maybe you want to look at Coinbase. You can see here that it pops up right here. Click on it, and you'll see that the Coinbase data for Bitcoin pops up. If you want to look at maybe Kraken, you can go to in this case, it pops up right here. You'll go here and you'll see that it will pop up. So if you do want to add anything on the crypto side of things, just make sure to type in BTC USD and the exchange or any coin that you're looking at. Going into, let's say that we want to look at Home Depot and we want to draw our own lines or automate the trend lines on the chart. You can easily go into trends here and click on trends. This is, as I mentioned in the intro video, all of these buttons at the top are going to add some specific layer onto the platform. The platform is really a bunch of different layers on the platform, looking at different ways to utilize technical analysis and fundamental analysis. So here you can see that these trend lines pop up on Home Depot. You'll see here the main thing that you want to focus on is this truth and analysis timestamp. Now, the truth and analysis timestamp is the last time that the system looked at the price action. So you'll see here that this vertical line shows us the last time that the price or that the system looked at this price chart, and you'll see that this on March 26th was the price at which we did the analysis, or the system did the analysis. So all of this price action to the right is not being taken into account yet. And you'll see here that this trend line right here actually was a perfect level that the price tested and then pulled back from on Home Depot. Now, if you want to update the chart so you're taking into account all of these candles here, you can go refresh and lock, and you'll see here that we now have a updated chart with the different trend lines. Now, one thing that I'll mention here, you'll see that these trend lines are curved. That's because we're on log scale here. So log scale can easily be turned on and off by just clicking this button. You'll see once we turn off log scale, these will become straight lines because we're now in linear mode. So just keep that in mind. If you do want to have these trend lines straight, make sure that log scale is turned off. And if you do want to have log scale turned on, you will have these curved trend lines. Now, if you turn on log scale and you're not using trends and you want to use a ray drawing or a segment drawing, you'll see here that the system will actually make these straight. So it's only using the automated trends where log scale is going to curve your lines if you switch over. Now, if you did draw a line on with log scale off, same thing with the auto trends, and then you turn log scale on, you're going to see that it is curved as well. So just keep that in mind. Log scale is something that some people use and some people don't use it. So it's really just a personal preference. So this is how you can look up a specific stock. As I mentioned, all of these buttons at the top, MTFA stands for multi-time frame analysis, the ability to go in and add a longer term time frame on the chart. So maybe we wanted to look at the daily candle and we wanted to turn on the indicators, which is this box right here. You'll see here that maybe we want to look at the daily, which is the session candle, versus the weekly Bollinger Bands. You'll see here that anytime that you want to turn on an indicator on the platform, you're going to want to click on these different buttons here. Now, each button will toggle on whatever time frame you're on. Now, if we don't have MTFA on, you'll see that it only shows the session candle. So if you want to turn on, let's say, the MACD, click session, this little button here, you'll see it goes green. The MACD starts to pull up on the bottom here, and you'll see here, the MACD is crossing to the downside on Home Depot right now. Now, maybe you want to turn this off. You simply just go back to this area, click it, and you'll see that it is back in this indicator queue here. Now, you'll also see if you want to get rid of any of these specific indicators, you can go to the indicators list here, and any indicators that you want to get rid of, you can go in and just click this trash can. Maybe you don't want to have the EMA 50 on the chart, just click trash, click apply, and you'll see it's removed from your list. Now let's say that you don't want to have this list up, you want to keep the chart clean. You can easily go to collapse indicator list right here, and it will go away, and you can easily expand it when you want to turn on another indicator. So this is a great way to use the indicator feature, and you can add really any indicator you can imagine. We have over 100 indicators here that you can choose from. You can go in and you can change the line stroke. Let's say that we're looking at the RSI and you want to make the line stroke a little thicker or thinner. You can just do this by toggling this to the right or the left. You can change the line color, you can change the background color of the actual indicator, and you can choose the price source. Maybe you want to only look at the RSI that's above 80 and you want to show that on the chart. You can easily change that to 80, and your upper and your lower thresholds will change with that. Just always make sure to click apply, because that's how you're going to actually lock it in. If you do want to see two stock symbols at once, go to price compare, and you'll see here that this pops up. Click apply, and anytime that you want to add a different symbol, you just click these three dots, and these three dots are really a way to get into the next part of an indicator, or any part of these buttons at the top. So you'll see here, click these three dots. You can change the chart type. Maybe you want to look at a raindrop chart on Home Depot, and you want to compare the raindrops to the regular candle. You can go in and easily do that. But you can also go to a different chart. Maybe you want to see how Home Depot is moving relative to SKLZ, which is more of a growth stock. You can go in and you can change this back to whatever chart type you're looking for. Click apply, and you'll see here that you can see, okay, well, as Home Depot is moving up, SKLZ was moving down, and you can see the relationship there. If you want to make this bigger, you can just move this up or down, and this is an easy way to compare two different stock symbols. Now, if you want to change your background, I know a lot of people have preferences on this particular type of thing. You can go to either the gear icon, which is going to allow you to change a lot of the different styles on the charts. If you want to add a market price line, if you want to show the watermark for whatever stock you're looking at, show grid lines, you can do all of that here. You can change the background, you can change the axis color, last price. You can do all of that here. If you, let's say that you create an alert, and let's say that we've got this trend line here, you create an alert, and you don't want to have this tag here. Just go to the gear icon there, move the alert label all the way to the left. You'll see that it disappears, so you don't have to have that alert label there. That's something that's really nice. You can also change the vertical padding, so you'll see that this will change how much room you have at the top of the chart. You can mess around with all of these different things here. If you're someone that wants to upload a logo onto your chart, you can also do that here. You'll have to go to your settings first, so you can see my name here. Go to account settings, you'll go to your profile, and you'll see here that you can add your personal logo there. For notifications, you'll see here that you can add a webhook. Data feeds, you'll see which data feeds that you're currently on using. You can see the plan that you have. If you want to upgrade to a different plan, you can do that all here. So you'll see that anytime you click your name at the top right, you'll be able to change your account settings. You'll be able to switch a workspace. You'll be able to change a color theme. So we have 3 different color themes here. The good old days is one of those really bright blue backgrounds. That may be a little much for some people. You can change this back to light. You can change it to dark mode. Now, if you want to change it to a different color than that, you can always go back to the gear icon, and you'll see here that the chart type, you can change the number, the different candles. You can change the actual, not the number of candles, the color of the candles here. You can change the background. Let's say that you want maybe an orange background. That's pretty intense, but maybe that works for you. Maybe you want a light gray background. You can do all that by simply changing the background color there. I'm going to go back to my background here, which is this color here, and we can easily go back and change it just by going to the light color theme as well. So you'll see that you can actually have a light background and still be on dark mode, and you'll see that these bars at the top will stay dark. But in my case, I like to use the light mode. Everyone's got their own preferences for that. So that's how you can use the price compare indicator to compare 2 different stocks. As I mentioned, anytime that you want to make any changes really to the background, to the overall just look of the chart, the chart settings icon, this gear icon, is really going to help you with that. Now, one thing that a lot of people have questions on as well is how can I zoom in the chart? How can I optimize the chart? If you want to make the chart, let's say, thinner or wider, you're going to want to grab this axis. In this case, we're grabbing the y-axis, and I'm just moving it up and down, and you'll see that it's moving. And then once you've done that, you can then grab it and move it around. So make sure to always grab the axis first. Just click and drag. And then you can easily move it around. If you want to change the x-axis here and make it wider, you can do that. So anytime that you're really wanting to zoom or optimize your chart, just grab the axis, drag it around, and then you're able to optimize the chart. So that's something that is really important. A lot of people have preferences on this. Just make sure that you are grabbing either the Y or the X axis, and then you can drag and optimize exactly where you want that price action to look on the chart. Maybe you want a little more room here, so you want to draw out, okay, maybe Home Depot is going to do one of these. You can easily go in and do that. Now, you can easily pull this over, and you could even add some notes here as well. All of these different features here on the left are going to be your annotation tools. The features up here are going to be more or less a different layer to the platform, where these are just going to be different annotations that you can use. So the top one is the draw a trend line. This is the ray drawing. So this is something that you click, and then you click a second time and it will lock in. And then the segment drawing is one that is actually just going to have 2 points, and you can move this around. Maybe you want to, do a show possibly a flag forming or something like that. One thing that you can do, and one thing that, depending on whatever operating system you're on, you can make some of these things a lot more efficient and not have to right click and all that. So if you go to your name, go to the hotkey guide, you'll be able to see all of the different hotkeys that you can use. You'll see the, the clone annotation. If you want to remove a trend line, you don't have to right click and remove it. You can simply hold down the shift key, click it, and it's gone. So that's something that really makes life a lot easier as well. Now, the next one is the percent drawing tool. So if you wanted to see how much Home Depot has gone up in the last, let's say, month and a half, you can just do this, and you'll see that Home Depot's up about 33%. If you want to, let's say, see how it's done over the last, let's say, few month and a half, and you want to see actually how long that was and how much it's gone up, you just can move that as well. So it's not just a vertical move here; it's a diagonal move as well. If you want to change any of the properties of a line, you can right click and go to properties, or you can just double click and it's going to take you to the properties tab here. If you want to add a label, if you want to add anything like that, you can go in, you can change the color, the line stroke, all of that good stuff. So that is something that makes it really easy. You don't have to right click. Remember, just double click and you'll be taken to this area here. Now the next one is the extended rectangle, and we do have the regular rectangle. So the extended rectangle is just one that's going to extend all the way to the right. This is going to be one where you create the actual size you want, and it's not going to extend. So this is something that you can do to highlight, let's say, a box or a range that you're watching. The next one is the circle drawing. Maybe you want to highlight a specific breakout or breakdown. You simply just grab this and move it, and this will make it bigger or smaller. Now you can also go and add text. Maybe you want to add text here, breaking down or something like that. You just click on the text box, click where you want to add that. So in this case, once again, click on it, click here, and the text label will pop up, and then you can add your notes here. Next one is the arrow drawing. If you want to highlight, let's say, a pivot point or something like that, or a top, just click the arrow. Anytime that the arrow is above the price, the arrow is going to point down. Anytime the arrow is below the price, it's going to point up. So that is a little bit of a smart technology there. The next one is just the vertical line drawing here. So maybe you want to highlight specific areas on the chart with a vertical line. Simply just click on the vertical line and then click where you want to highlight that area. The next one is the actual draw interaction line. So this is really good for lower indicators. So maybe you're looking at the MACD and you want to see, okay, the MACD just crossed right here. You can click and you'll see that it's actually automatically going to circle on the MACD where this cross is happening. And so this is nice. You can go in once again. Maybe you want to highlight as well, okay, the MACD cross here. This is where it looks like on the chart, and it will automatically circle that for you on the bottom. The next one is the horizontal line. If you want to just highlight horizontal levels, just click on that area. This is something you can move around. So if you click on it and you want to move it around, you can easily do that. And then the fib tool, you can see here the fib tool is going to allow you to create manual Fibonacci levels. Remember, just double click on this line and you'll be able to add different levels that you want to watch on the chart. If you want to add some of these in these levels that are in between 1 and 0, you can do that here as well. And you can add alerts on any of these levels as well. So let's delete these and we'll go back to some other annotation tools. The 3-point fib is something that you can also add. So 1, 2, and then maybe 3. So if you are a 3-point fib user, that is about halfway down on the drawing menu. This is the position tool. So maybe you want to show your risk and reward here. You can easily move this around and you'll see what your risk reward is, what your stop level is, what your entry level is, all of that good stuff here. The next one is the polyline tool. So if you want to draw, let's say, just specific price action, maybe we want to highlight, okay, we're going to go up here, maybe down here, then back up here. You just click and it's a continuous click. Now notice here that this is still going. If you want to end this drawing, just click enter and it will end the drawing and you'll have just a static image here now. You can also go in and add different labels here to make it, let's say, an Elliott wave. So double click. You can add your labels. So A, B, or A, B, C. And you'll see that these areas do show up on each pivot point here that you've created. So if you want to add, let's say, smooth the line, just click this smooth box here, and you'll see that these will make these areas nice and smooth rather than just sharp points. So that's something that you can really use with Elliott waves, and you can really get creative there. The next one is the volume by price, being able to measure this. So let's say that you want to measure from February to the low in March, and you want to see where this volume was located. You can easily do this, and you'll see the volume profile pops up. You'll see the point of control. If you want to change anything here, just double click on it. You'll be able to change the histogram, the number of columns. Maybe you want to have 50 price columns there. Click done, and you'll see these get smaller. So this is something that's really useful, and you can really be very creative with this and measure specific moves and see where that volume is holding from. We also have the anchored volume by price, which is in the indicators tab, and you'll see here it's under it's just under volume by price. So type in volume by price, and you'll see here that it will pop up, and you can change that here. The volume by price is the ability to actually see where is the volume located since this bottom to the most recent price action. So you're able to move this. So we're measuring the volume from this low, and we're measuring it all the way to the most recent price action. You'll see on a lot of our charts and our videos that this is called the volume shelf anytime you have a lot of volume bars forming in a specific spot. So if you do want to mess around with that, we have a lot of different tutorials on how to use this and how to really utilize this. The next thing is chart type. If you want to change your chart type to, let's say, a line chart, this is right below the search bar. Make sure to click the drop-down menu, and then you can choose, let's say, raindrops or whatever you're looking for. You can do that through the chart type button here. And anytime that you want to, let's say, even add different properties to a candle or a raindrop, click on properties. You can change the colors, all of that good stuff here. If you want to make it thicker, thinner, you can do all of that in the properties toolbox. As I mentioned, to really zoom in and out of the chart, you'll be able to go in and just move these axes, and that is how you can really make the chart very free-flowing. And as I mentioned, the MTFA is the ability to see longer-term time frames. AutoFib is the ability to automate the Fibonacci levels. The Trends button is something that's unique because you can see here that there's different preferences. So analysis type, drawing input, islands or gaps, these are all going to change how the system draws trend lines. We have a lot of videos on this and different things that you can really do to make this closer to your style The analysis type is really looking at the distance of the candles. The drawing input is either connecting the bodies or the wicks to the candles. The islands or gaps is respecting gaps in price or ignoring gaps in price. So you can do all of that here in the trend analysis preferences. And then if we go to indicators, as I mentioned, to turn on indicators is just clicking this, but to add or remove different indicators is going to actually be clicking on those 3 dots, and it will take you to the indicator list here. The patterns button, this is great for newer traders. If you want to start learning, let's say, a specific candlestick pattern, just click these 3 dots here, and you'll see that if you want to, let's say, learn a hammer pattern, click on hammer. You'll see that we have a regular hammer, and then we have this hammer that says TPS. That's the pattern site by Thomas Bulkowski, and the docs button here will show you exactly what that pattern is and how it is formed. So the 2 hammers here, that's what it is, a regular hammer and then the pattern site definition of a hammer. And you can just go in, click apply. If you have any chosen and you want to delete them, just click that clear button up here. And let's say you want to look at a hammer. You'll see that in the case of Home Depot, there's not a lot of hammers, but if we go to, let's say, something like a bullish engulfing candle or just an engulfing candle in general, click apply, you'll see all of these different engulfing candles pop up, and you can really train your eye. Now, this automated pattern recognition is also useful in the scanner, the back tester, and the alert system for multi-factor alerts. The heat map is an area where you can go in and see different horizontal levels of interest. Sometimes you're going to find a lot of heat map levels. Sometimes you're not going to find any. It really just depends on what the chart looks like. And the heat map does have 3 different types of preferences. So you can do horizontal levels, you can do the depth, you can do the trends. And that's something that, as I mentioned, I didn't mention this, it does not work on log scale. So make sure, one, that your log scale is turned off, and then once you turn on heat map, you'll see that once the log scale is turned off, these different levels will pop up on your chart. And as I mentioned, we have horizontal levels, we have depth, we have trends. All of these different types of heat maps are going to show you a little bit of a different thing on the chart. So definitely check this out. It's something that's pretty proprietary to the platform, and go to our blog post if you do want to see how these heat map levels are created. The events tab up here is going to highlight different events such as analyst estimates, stock splits, dividends, earnings, all of that good stuff. You'll be able to see here if we look on Home Depot on the monthly chart, and you'll see that each time there's been an earnings, you'll see that here. So make sure to use the events button here. If it's turned on, it's toggled green. If it's turned off, it's toggled just gray here. If you want to create an alert, remember we do have the trend line alerts that we've discussed, or any alert. So if we go to the indicators and you go to, let's say, the Bollinger Bands, you'll see that you can go in, create an alert at this area, and you can do the same exact thing that you can do on any trend line or any part of the upper side of the chart. Now, if you want to be alerted anytime, let's say, a MACD crosses, you go to MACD, cross, name it whatever you'd like, add parameter, condition, go to the time frame, let's say session, indicator, you type in, you'd see MACD crossed up through the indicator on the session candle, and the MACD crossed up through the signal. That would alert you whenever the MACD crosses to the upside. So you really don't have to use any scripting on the platform. You can easily use this Boolean algebra type of approach on the alerts as well as the strategy tester. If you create an alert and you want to test it out first, just click test this strategy as an entry or an exit condition, and it will take you to the strategy tester here. Now, that is about it. We do have one more button here called scripts. These are different scripts that we've created, and if you do create any of your own scripts, let's say an RSI breakout, the RSI greater than 50 and the weekly RSI greater than 50, you can go to the script manager here, and if you do create a special script, you don't have to recreate it every time. You can save it, and then you can go back to your script manager and pull that back up. Hopefully this video was helpful in understanding the platform and how to use it and all the different controls that we have on the platform. If you have any questions, as I mentioned, we do have those one-on-one demos, and you can ask as specific of a question as you want. And really appreciate everybody checking out Chapter 2. Let's move on to Chapter 3.